Step one. So the first of the 12 steps in the process. Step one is called the vision element. Now, that might be too big a chunk to take in at the moment. It would be for me, but I'm going to explain how we get there. And in step one, we have the blue arrow pointing upwards. So the blue arrow comes from the model which I've introduced to you already, and we know that it's going to be subjective. Okay. Step one, surprisingly, is about you. It's about you. It's not about the numbers. It's not about the market research. Step one is about you. And we're going to be looking for 3 things that you like to do. 3 things that you really like to do. And then we're going to be asking you a question, which it's written down there, but I'll come to it in a moment. We're not looking for you to come out with some vision statement. We are interested in what you like to do, what you enjoy doing. So I want to keep the focus on things that you unashamedly like to do. I'm going to go into that in a bit more detail. Okay, here are your instructions. Now, you might want to do this. You might want to do this by yourself and write it down, but you may want to get a kind friend to do it with you and to ask you the question and to write it down for you and replay it to you without interpretation or judgment. Okay, that's a kind friend. It's quite a skilled kind friend because this is about you, not them. Okay? So find 3 activities that you enjoy. For example, you're walking, reading, writing, cooking, playing with your children, watching films, drawing, photography, listening to music, playing in a band, playing football, chatting to a friend. 3 things that you enjoy doing, 3 activities. Now, this is not a yes, but. This is, I love these activities. If there's a yes, but in it, put them aside. What you want is something that you really enjoy, unashamedly enjoy doing, no matter how small it is. Okay? Now take the first activity. So identify one activity. If you've got a piece of paper, put it at the bottom of the page and put the question, and what does that do for you, at the top of the page. Then go back to the bottom of the page and say, that activity, what does that do for you? And then you will give an answer. And you will, to yourself or the person who's helping you, will repeat the literal word and ask, that activity that gave you that, what does that do for you? So in my case, if it was football, and you say, what does that do for you? I'd say, oh, I love feeling my feet on the grass. You see what I mean? It's very personal. I love feeling my feet on the grass. And then the next question would be, and what does that do for you? And I would say, well, when I feel my feet on the grass, I feel balanced. I feel balanced in nature. Okay. And when you feel balanced in nature, and what does that do for you? When I feel balanced in nature, I feel so much joy at the prospect of the game. And when you feel so much joy at the prospect of the game, what does that do for you? Okay. You can see what I'm doing there, and the answers are moving in a certain direction and they're changing character. It doesn't matter what I'm saying. It's important to repeat the same question 20 times. And what does that do for you? In NLP, the process is called chunking up. And I'm going to chunk up I've moved from, my feet on the ground to balance and joy. And if you ask me that question 20 times, eventually my answer is going to start to circulate. It's going circles near the top. It's going to be near the top. Now, you don't have to come to a definitive answer. Just get near the top where the answers are starting to circle. Okay? For that particular activity, those answers are at the highest level of abstraction. Take number 2. When you finish that one, take number 2. Repeat the process for activity number 2. Whatever your activity is that you want to take. Go all the way through the process until you reach the top. Stop and then repeat the process for activity number 3. Go all the way through the process till you get near the top. So you've got three activities with 3 high levels of abstraction that may not yet be clear. And when you get to that point, ask yourself, and what does all of that do for you? Put all those 3 together. What does all of that do for you? The answer will give you that level of abstraction. Might be, I don't want to say what it might be. It will be what it will be. And I can assure you, because those are 3 activities that you love to do, it's going to be important to you. And we need to know what that is. And you might say, well, I can't give you 1 word or 5 words or something like that. Get a collection of words as a feeling. What does all of that do for me? That's an interesting feeling. There isn't a right answer. And in a way, that's all I want you to do with it at the moment, because this isn't a linear process. We're going to go through 12 steps, but they're part of a system and they interact with one another, and they will affect each other. But if you've done that, if you've got those 3 activities, you've got 3 levels of abstraction, and you've got a potential answer to the question, and what does all of that do for you? Good job. You've done step 1.